Hello. Today we are going to finish up this cute little uh, amethyst dish that I made in my last video. And to do that, we need to, there's some little bubble spots. If you watched that video all the way to the end, you'll find that I had a little trouble getting enough resin all the way in. And to be honest with you, it's my own fault. I really should have just taken a tool and swiped around the edges and made sure there was no bubbles. But anyway, that was a failing on my part. I know better. Um, so anyway, it gives us an excuse to fix it. So um, let's see if I can get one of them on camera here. See, there's like one here, right here, right there, and there's a big one there, and there, and there, all the way around. So there's quite a few of them, and now the last time I had this problem, I made this cute little uh, box, this little box. Um, but on the lid, there was a couple of spots that had little bubbles on them. This one right here, you can see that. So I bought, because I've had trouble trying to fix these in the past, regardless of the solutions offered. So what I did was I found some UV clay. So instead of it just being a blob of UV resin that I was trying to get to harden before it moved on me and dripped or something, uh, I I gave up on that. So I got some clay. Now I can't seem to find my little tin. It's a teeny tiny tin, about yay big, and it's just got a little bit of this UV clay in it. I can't find it. It's around on my desk somewhere, but I don't know where it is. But I wanted to try this other kind as well. See if I can get this on here. UV clay. UV putty, clear. It says clear, solid uh, builder gel. And it's a 3.5 ounce jar. So this is what it looks like. I opened it up and I just peeled back the foil on it. I don't know if you can see it. I'll pull a tiny bit out. I don't know if I can even do this with gloves. Let's see. What do I have? Let's just use this little tiny bit of resin. Or maybe not. I don't know. It's hard to get out. See, when I thought in the ad, it looked like it was kind of a tiny bit liquid, but mostly soft. And I do find that you can, uh, there it goes, you can see it now. It's stretched out there. I do find that you can do that. You can stretch it out, but it's not nearly as liquidy as I thought it was going to be. I don't know if I can do this with gloves. I might have to do it without gloves. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think the gloves are going to work. I was hoping to keep it off my hands. Okay, I'll just take that off there. Okay. But it isn't really, it is a clay-like texture. You can move it around. You can build with it. You can shape it like any clay. So here's like a little ball of it. So what I'm going to do, what I did on this, was I just took the clay. It's almost exactly the same as the other one, although it feels a little bit easier to move once you get your fingers into it a little bit and move it around. Let's start with one of these smaller ones. Get on camera. A couple of these smaller ones. See how that goes. And let's just see if we can just push it in there a little bit. Because the idea is to get it so it's relatively smooth and flat. And let's see. Because using UV resin in a liquid form really didn't have a lot of luck personally in getting that into the crevice. It would like go on top of it, not into it. And that really wasn't what I wanted. So if you, I don't know if you can see that now, right here, that little hole is filled up now. Now I was wondering, I don't know if you can, but I was wondering if you could take a little bit of the colorant and color the UV resin. I think you can. Let's give it a try. This is the lavender that I used in the bowl. Put a tiny drop of it on there. And let's just see if we can mix it up a tiny bit. Yeah, that worked pretty well. Just pushed it in there a little bit, and now the UV resin is purple. All right, let's take a look at this now and put it, how about if we try to do this one right here? There's two of them next to each other. Maybe we can do both of them. Push that in, flatten it down. A little bit. That looks pretty good. All right. What do you think? It's this one right here that I just did. Get my fat fingers out of the way. Ah, right there. So now it's pretty close to the same color. I don't think it's too obviously different. So let's move on to the next one. I'm going to need a little bit more. Clean that up a little bit. I'm going to put it on the, I've got a little piece of silicone here. Just drop a tiny drop on there. And let's just mix it up again. I'm not too concerned about color consistency because the colors vary throughout the entire piece. As long as it's in the same range of what I started out with, I'm pretty okay with it. Looks like I got a little bit extra colors, so let me mix it a little bit more. That's better. All right, there we go. So we mix that up a little bit. And we've got a nice piece of purple. Let's see. Let's do this one right here. Just going to push that down a little bit. There we go. That looks pretty nice. All right, and let's do this big one right here. Right here. Okay. All right, that's in there now. Let me just, I think it's been working to kind of take this little silicone stir stick and push it in a little bit, flatten it so it doesn't really look like it's a repair. I think that looks pretty good. All right, let's see the next one. Little one right here. So, well, there's a teeny tiny one right here. Let's do that one. And this one right here. Once you get it in there, you can kind of just peel off the excess a little bit. Or in this case, I'm just pushing it in. It's okay. There's one right there. That one's a little bit bigger, I think. And you can shape it into the hole. Whereas with the liquid UV resin method, it would just drip off a hole like that because the hole is in the edge. And so you'd never be able to get the UV into there and cured in the right way. It's always going to leave a little bump. And I really just don't like those little bumps. I also don't like the difference in shininess that you often get with UV resin. All right, so I shaped that one in there. Can't even tell it was there. Let's see. There's a little tiny one right there. Push it down in. Just a very tiny hole on that one. See. Feels a little rough there. So maybe there's a few teeny tiny holes. Excuse me. And we'll get that out of there. So tiny little ones there too. Also see that it needs to be pushed in a little bit more right there. Or smoothed out or something. See, just put a little bit more. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm just kind of balling it up. I put the color on there. Just kind of balling it up and then shoving it in to the little tiny holes with my stir stick here. Pushing it in. All right, let me see. Are there any more that I missed? Right there. And this is just pressing it in. I haven't cured it yet. All right, let's see. Well, here's one. Yeah, the problem this time was entirely my own fault, but it can happen to anybody, even someone like me who's been doing it for years and years. You forget. No big deal. It's more important to be able to fix it and not be able to not have to throw away a whole piece. There's another one right there. And there's one right there. A little bit more. Tiny little bit of color. Mix it up. And really, at the end of the day, it might even be easier to just spread it around the whole thing and create a new little layer right there. I think that'd also be just a fine way to fix it. Oops. Especially since I had quite a few on this one, it might have also been faster. But it's okay. I've got some little tiny ones in this spot. All right. Take another quick look around. Ah, there's another one. Yeah, there was a lot on this one. It probably would have been faster to just put a whole layer around the whole thing. All right. Just take another look around. More little teeny tiny ones in there. It's just about smoothed out now, I think. I don't see any more that I missed. That one could probably have a tiny bit more in it. All right, now, so next we will cure it with UV light. Let me get that out here. All right, so I will just pause and be back in a few minutes. All right, so it is cured now. It's a little bit sticky, but not too much. What I'm thinking though is I'm not too pleased with a few bits of it, but maybe I can't even see that problem, the problems that irritate me up close on camera. Let's see if I can. Um, no, I really can't. So I don't know if I can even explain it, but well, you can see like here, there's not there. Let me get to it. There's a difference in shininess in the places where it's still the original resin. So for that reason, I probably should just go over the whole thing with one nice clean coat of the clay and or the regular UV resin even now that the holes are filled up. Um, Usually it's only like one hole, so it's not too much of a problem. This was a bad one, and that's why I used it as an example. But if I were too worried about it, I would fill it all in with one more layer. Um, but at the moment, that's not my concern. It'll probably just end up sitting on my desk, collecting this, that, or the other thing that I need a place to drop something into. You know how it is. So anyway, the next thing we're going to do is I did not like the glitter on this one. It just, I don't know, it just doesn't look right to me. So what I'm going to do is something I like to do on a lot of my trays and other uh, pieces like bowls or dishes or something. I don't always like the bottoms. I think it's for me, it's that the shininess is different than from the mold, and that just always bothers me. I don't know why. I'm sure other people are not nearly as bothered by my hang up as I am, and I'm sorry that it's that it's my hang up, but I'm always trying to think of a way to make the shininess better or different or something. Anyway, I'm going to show you what I like to do here. Lost one of my pieces. I've got a large collection of, oh, there it is, of washi tape. I love washi tape. It's so much fun. You see, it's got all kinds of different patterns, and it's just like masking tape, but prettier. So if you're looking at this on my desk and you picked it up, I'd like you to see something fun when you do so. So that's why I do this. So I've got these three that I pulled out. They all have some purple in them and some shiny, sparkly stuff. So I think I really like this one a lot. So let's start with that one across the middle. Right through there. All right, and then I kind of like this one. I feel like this really matches the piece. You could do all of them the same, of course, if you want to. But it does not have any gold or silver in it, so it's more of a matte finish. And then I also have this one. These don't seem to come out very well on camera, but they look really nice. Put this one like right here. And then we'll go back to the first one. Go along the edge here. And over the edge here. And then we're going to cut it off. I don't know if I can do that on camera, but here's what it looks like pre-cut. Let's see if I can. Okay. Because it's an awkward position for me. Start by taking off the excess. All right, and now these might be kind of hard to cut because of the irregular nature. Oh no, that's right. We don't have to cut by, we need to cut by the center part because that's round. Silly me, never mind. Yourself to think it through before you start cutting. All right, let's see. I don't want to start on the small sides, small pieces. Ooh, fingers. Anybody else's fingers start to stiffen up after years and years and years and years of creating things? Trim it off a tiny bit. All right, and it's hard for me to do it on camera, I guess, and see what I'm doing. Sorry. All right, we're making progress. I also can't really, I found over the years that I can't really talk while I'm cutting for some reason. I used to work in a fabrics, joint fabrics, as a matter of fact, and I would have to cut fabric for people sometimes. I didn't really work in the cutting department, but sometimes I would have to go back and do it if nobody else was there. And people would try to talk to me while I was cutting, and I found that it was hard for me to do. Think and cut at the same time. Talk and cut at the same time, I mean. Think too, probably. My mom used to say that when she was a waitress, that people could say whatever they wanted to her, and she would never lose track of her order or her change or anything else. And I didn't have any trouble with it as a cashier. You could talk to me all day, and I wouldn't lose track of the change either. But cutting and talking at the same time is somehow complex. Must use different pieces of my brain. All right, so there we go. Now we have this on the bottom. It gives it a nicer texture. It's no rough spots or anything to mar up a table or anything. And as you can see, it's a little bit sparkly and everything except for this purple one right here. But I like that one, so I decided to keep it. Um, then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put just a little layer of Mod Podge on there to seal that up. But first I'm just going to spray it down with a little bit of alcohol, just to make sure there's no oils or anything on it. Wipe it off. See a little spot there that needs to be corrected. Alright, that looks pretty good. Sorry about the glare. Maybe it's this light over here. Alright, take a little bit of this. Put it on there. Alright, I guess I missed a spot right there. This being in my way really seems to mess me up. Alright, so now we'll just let that dry. And maybe I'll put another coat on it. And so I'll pause while it does that. It takes a while for Mod Podge to dry completely. And then I'll pop back in when it's done. All right, so this is almost finished drying. There's still a couple of spots here that are almost done, but it's fine. Um, I forgot to show the bottle. It's just regular Mod Podge satin finish. Uh, um, sometimes I use a matte because I'm really always looking for more of a matte finish on the bottom. It looks pretty good. It should be very fully stuck on there. Now that the Mod Podge is on there, if you wanted to, you could put a little coat of resin on top. It'll make any lines disappear. And but I'm not going to do that this time. I'm just going to put couple of little feet on there to keep it from rubbing across your table. Did I get all that on film? I hope so. Um, but let's talk about the product here. This UV clay. Now, I like it fine as far as its use goes. It worked fine. If I was looking for more of a shiny finish, it would be okay. I'm looking for more of a matte finish like I got on this one. Now, this product, like I said, it's lost in my house somewhere. I'm sure it's somewhere. Um, and I did not dye any of the UV resin on this one. I think I like this better. It's not as outstandingly shiny. It doesn't catch my attention oddly. I like it better. Um, so the one that I used on this one, the more of a matte finish UV clay, I like it a lot better. This one, I just don't dig the difference in shininess. That is just always going to bug me when that happens. However, there's going to be times when shiny is exactly what I'm looking for. So I'm sure it'll be used, just not in the way I was hoping. Now, if you saw the other video, this mold it was horrible. It's just so stiff and unyielding. It has like no flexibility to it, and so I had to cut it open to get it out of there. It was really difficult. I tried the water trick, and I tried prying it off, and I tried just working it over, but I couldn't get it out no matter how hard I tried. It did come with a second mold, which I'm not going to use. But what I am going to do is I'm just going to make myself a new mold with this one, and uh, yeah, I'm sure that'll make me a lot happier because it'll be nice, new, fresh silicone. I don't know. I mean, what the problem is it probably just is old silicone or something, or it's just the type that they used. I don't really know, but it's terrible, terrible, terrible mold. I never had that problem with any other mold in all of my years of doing resin. So I'm blaming the mold entirely. Anyway, that is the end of that project. Let me know if you have any suggestions. What do you do differently to fill up little holes? Do you have any special ways that you like to decorate the bottom of a pot? Um, that's about it. Oh, maybe you'd like to just see this real quick. I don't know if I made this one on camera. It's such a pretty little uh, box. Love the lid on this one. It looks kind of cosmic. And I liked the bottom on this one, so I decided not to do anything with it. But I really am very fond of this little box. And I do love this little amethyst bowl. I do not do everything in purple, I promise. Although purple is probably my favorite color. Again, if you have any questions or anything, let me know in the comments and come back again for the next one. Have a great day. Bye, everybody.